Today I'm watching Angel Season 4, Episode 22. This is the Season 4 finale. Very curious to see where we're going to go with this, especially how we ended the previous episode with Lila being back somehow. Lots of questions as to that, how that's possible, who brought her back, why she's back, and she looks normal, like she doesn't look like a zombie or anything like that, or a ghost. So yeah, very curious considering the last time we saw her was not great. So yeah, that piece. And then we did lose Jasmine in the previous episode. Connor killed her, who had been our, big bad for most of this season. So she's out of the picture. Obviously, Connor took off, and, there's been a lot of ominous messages about how Angel's gonna lose Connor. He definitely has been going through a lot, with Cordelia and then Jasmine, and finding out that his whole reason, in his opinion, was a lie for existing because Jasmine was the worst and was trying to take over the entire world and had this live television broadcast. Angel was able to stop it by bringing back this creature who said her true name and took away her power, so everybody got to see what she really looked like. So yeah, very curious to see where we're gonna go with this last episode. So thank you so much for sharing in this first time watching with me. If you have any other suggestions for TV shows you think I should watch, please comment below. And if you want to have a say in what movies or TV shows I watch, be sure to join Patreon. And as always, please like, comment, and subscribe to this channel, and check back often for more awesome content.
What's the matter, Ace? Didn't think you were the only one that ever got to come back from hell around here, did you?
But, they chopped her up, pretty aggressively, so...
It's a lie.
It's Lila.
Yeah, Wesley's obviously, struggling with this.
It's true, Wes. It's her.
But how? She was dead.
She's still dead.
Then how is she back?
Besides, my Wesley made sure I'd be spared, just in case.
Yeah, he chopped her head off. Come on, how is she back?
I'm sure that's true.
Ooh, shots fired. Okay.
The contract she signed with them extends beyond her death.
Standard perpetuity clause.
Oh my god, that's so grim. What a horrible job.
But you'll take it, because this is the offer of a lifetime.
Okay, very curious.
Just not, mine.
Right. Because she's dead. Right. We get it. Okay, what is she gonna offer them? Yeah, I'm very curious.
What was unclear?
I think the part where you offered us Wolfram and Hart.
Just the LA branch.
But Wolfram and Hart are evil lawyers, but they're also dead. So what does that mean? This seems like there's going to be so many strings attached.
Building, assets, personnel, letterhead, paper clips, all of it. It's yours to do with as you see fit.
There's got to be strings. There's no way he's just handing this over. Yeah, exactly.
And we want to give it to you.
You want to give us your evil law firm? We ain't lawyers.
Yeah, what are they going to do with it?
State-of-the-art, multitasking operation. What you do with it, well, that's up to you.
No, there's no way they're just going to have it and walk away. They're still going to be interfering.
Yeah. Think of it as a reward.
Reward for what?
Ending world peace.
That's not what happened.
They wanted the destruction, of course. Yeah.
What a nightmare.
She was eating people.
They knew what they were getting into.
Her stomach?
World peace comes at a price.
Ah, Lauren, you're so funny.
Now weigh that against ending the suffering of millions. But you fixed that.
No, we didn't.
She's congratulations. Yeah, the way she's spinning it makes it sound way worse.
The grand tour. There'll be a limo waiting outside just before dawn. And hey, good job.
That's not something you want to hear from Lila. No, if she's encouraging you, it's because you did something... Yeah... Ugh. Yeah, and making them question everything that they did, basically being well, Jasmine, yes, she was killing people, but everybody who was still around and eating dozens of people a day. Good night. And Connor's now just roaming the streets, lost, literally, figuratively, mentally, emotionally. Oh gosh.
I think it's gone.
Sir? Because Jasmine's not here anymore? Oh my gosh.
That's your family and you were just gonna leave them like that? How were they gonna feel if you didn't come back?
Well, this has gone from pep talk to guilting them. Pep talk. Oh my god. Yeah, the anger's still there for sure. Cheese and rice. Yeah, Connor's already feeling like crappy about himself. I wasn't expecting him to be the one of like, you know, talking somebody else out of their sadness. Oh my god. Okay, here we go. Oh, the anger is very real with this one.
A few extra employees. Or a turnkey, state-of-the-art multitasking operation.
Gunn wants it, obviously. Yes.
Sitting there when the dead lady offered it to us. Come on, Wes. How long are you going to be satisfied sitting there sticking pins in maps and blowing dust off your books?
It would give them a lot more resources, for sure, and they could get a lot more done because they would have a huge team. But again, I still don't trust it because it's Wolfram and Hart.
Maybe we should consider...
Consider what, Gunn? What should we consider?
working outward in a never-expanding perimeter.
And where's she sneaking off to? Okay. Honestly, so far it kind of feels like the next season's first episode as opposed to like a season finale. I know there's still quite a bit of episode left, but that's the vibe it's giving.
I just figured, well, if they are up to something...
We should know what it is.
Yeah, Gunn obviously wants to go. So yeah, I'm very curious to see if this Wolfram and Hart takeover looks like. Because again, there's got to be strings attached.
What if Angel's right?
Yeah, but what if he's not? All we're gonna do is take the tour.
Why do I feel like Lauren's already in the limo waiting for them or something?
There shouldn't be any.
Surprises? What the hell?
Okay, and I think if anything, he wants to see if they're gonna get in trouble.
So it's an evil limo, I get that.
Yes, I knew he would. I knew it. It's so funny, Lorne. He's not missing a party, for sure. Drink in hand, music going. I think if anything, Angel wants to see what this is about and like if they need help protecting them or anything like that. Like he's not gonna let them just go in on their own.
Mr. Angel, good morning. Good morning, Mr. Angel.
Mr. Angel. Oh my goodness. Stop.
Good morning, Mr. Angel.
I can't see Angel in the corporate world. Everybody in their suits on their way to work. Yeah, like I thought this storyline was done. You know, we had Wolfram and Hart throughout the first few seasons, obviously. Lila's character, you know, various other characters that were in positions of power. Oh, Lila's back with her scarf. Yep. And yeah, the beast destroyed it. There were so many other zombies. Like, I did not think this was coming back.
Areas of expertise seem the most efficient way of doing this. Prioritize and personalize.
She is all about efficiency. Yeah, productivity.
You would have blown up the limo, right? If you prefer to be armed during your stay here, would have no objections.
She's thought of everything. Yeah, the perfect host.
Kill or corrupt each and every one of you at one time or another doesn't mean we can't be trusted.
That's exactly what it means.
In there. Which is also apparently everyone I've always wanted to meet.
Lauren. So funny.
Charles Gunn, Lacey Shepherd. I think you'll find you two have nothing in common.
Meet you.
You too. Well, this should be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, and again, like meeting all these new characters at the end of a season, to me still feels like it should have been like the first episode of the next season.
It's you and me, boss. Come on, Charlie. Let me show you around the chocolate factory.
Does he get a golden ticket if he sticks around? Watch out for that train ride. She's a killer.
We have much grander plans for you, Mr. Gunn.
You do? Grander?
Yeah, we know he's mentioned before that he wants to be like more than just like the brute strength. Like he wants to be like brains as well.
D&D, Dungeons and... We actually have a dungeon. I could show it to you later.
Nope, too far. Nope, you got real weird with it.
Oh, I'm not the head. I just manage it for the department head, which I guess you know would be you.
Yeah, that's very interesting that they're splitting them up in these different departments and everybody would be in charge of their own groups. And she would get her own, like, lab, yeah, and all this, like, this seems, yeah, perfect for her. But again, I don't trust any of it. Oh, a laser, that's fun.
Not wrong. I can make practically anything out of a fully equipped, multi-million-dollar
He's like, yeah, I have everything I ever could need, so...
Our ancient prophecy's wing.
Oh, of course Wesley's gonna go for the rare books, yes.
Devondere Codex, Sanskrit.
He just says what he wants into the book? What? That's crazy. And Wesley is matching the book and the room.
The template you're holding provides access to anything.
What? That's crazy.
Impressive. And does the Watchers Council know you stole the only known copy of the Codex when you left?
He's like, I was a Watcher once, so...
There is no council.
Not anymore, no.
Yeah, we know they were destroyed in Buffy.
It's become blurry. How did you know?
Something about Watchers and...
Oh! Okay, Wesley. Aha! Yes, I love the Sunnydale and Buffy reference. Giles in the library. Oh, he brought his own weapons. That's fun. Yeah. He's like, don't you tempt me with your books, sir. I know better.
Stay mobile, what with all that rushing out to save the day you're so fond of?
Thanks, but I already have a car.
Now you have 12.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, you can only drive one at a time.
I'm done now.
Wait, I forgot to show you the best part. You're gonna love this.
It's fake. It's gotta be a picture or something. Yeah, what's going on?
Necro-tempered glass.
Oh, interesting.
Keep those uplifting, wholesome rays from charbroiling the boss. And
now we can feel the heat of the sun. Oh my.
An opportunity to be part of the problem.
if that's what you choose.
Really don't.
Again, your choice.
Yeah, it seems like they could use it for good or evil. They'd be fine with either, but I don't trust it.
They need a man who knows the value of compromise and how to beat the system from inside the belly of the beast.
I do think it could do a lot of good, but the Wolfram and Hart's name's attached, so...
Sunnydale.
That nifty little bauble comes with the file. Apparently.
Okay. Interesting. Very interesting. With the first?
Okay.
Okay. We're gonna get a crossover episode?
Not a slayer.
Buffy can handle herself.
But isn't it more fun when you handle her?
We haven't had a crossover in a long time. Very interesting.
You could find out in about 10 seconds. All you gotta do is pick up the phone, boss.
It's like, what is this phone is so tiny?
Before you make your decision.
Evacuated and bomb units have been called to the scene
Cool.
where more than a dozen promenade shoppers are being held.
He's just happy about the TV. Oh, man.
Trying to identify the suspect from these security camera pictures.
And there's Connor. Oh, frick. And he looks very mad, very angry.
It's time.
Time for what?
Yep. Oh my gosh, we know what this means. Yep. Okay. The white
Only thing I
room.
seek is the lobby
Good luck. No, you shouldn't have gone in the elevator with her.
with a replacement. Here I am thinking I'm getting seduced. Well, I'm getting screwed up.
We know the elevators in Wolfram and Hart are notoriously tricky.
Come on, you got the wrong guy in here. This room's for the big...
Last time there was a little girl, but that does not sound like a little girl. A panther?
I think I preferred the little girl.
Okay. What's going on here? He's just a big kitty. Staring into Gunn's soul. Oh, we can see his reflection in his eyes. Oh my gosh.
Hey! I told you to be nice. I'm sorry.
He took a sporting goods store like hostage. Everybody had like, I thought it was like looked like a bottle of pop or something, but it's like an oxygen tank strapped to them. That can't be good. That's gonna be flammable. Connor's gone rogue for sure. Oh my gosh. Yeah, and he has to hear like the sirens and stuff and the helicopters, like. Oh my god, it's attached to the batteries. Oh, this is gonna be so grim.
A little slower than I would have thought. But then you always did like to take your time.
Oh, my.
Here it is. Every dirty little scheme, every secret, all that evil, great and small.
Yeah, this is like their archives or something. What's he looking for?
What are you doing, Wesley?
Standard perpetuity clause.
Is that her contract?
You broke in here for my contract.
Okay. Oh, so she'll go back. Oh, bye, Lila.
It's done.
But she's still here? Oh, there'll be another copy. Oh my gosh. Yeah, Wolfram and Hart wouldn't just leave it that easily. Yeah, of course.
But it means something that you tried.
Yeah, these two had a very, like, weird relationship, but I genuinely think they did care about each other in a weird, twisted way.
Son.
Oh my gosh, that got me. What was that?
Don't know who's gonna be first. Could be any one of them.
I don't know, like, Angel would just be heartbroken at this, like, going through everything with Jasmine. Oh, and of course he's got it strapped to himself as well. Oh my gosh. Connor. They did say he was gonna lose him.
Could be her.
Cordelia! Oh my gosh.
I know. I'm so...
Do not say you're sorry!
Angel looks so scared, like, both Connor and Cordelia in this situation, and everybody else as well, like, this is horrible.
No. No, she knew she couldn't.
She sacrificed herself because...
Yeah, we know Darla died so that he could live, like, and they said it's the best thing they ever did.
You let him get me. You let him get me.
I'm sure Angel feels guilty about that every single day. Like, oh my gosh. And to hear Connor bring it up again.
Help you start over.
You can't start over.
Yeah, Connor's been through so much in such a short amount of time. I don't know how to fix that.
You can't be saved by a lie.
Oh, Connor, I'm worried. I'm so worried. How's he gonna fix this? Oh my gosh. She thinks his whole existence is a lie. Oh! Oh my gosh. There's so many weapons in this store. Oh my god. Oh! Yeah, you gotta get out of there. You gotta get out of there. Now's your chance. Go, go, go. Cordelia's still just sleeping. Oh my gosh. Oh! Nope. Nope. Oh, that's gonna leave a mark. Now we're getting real. You gotta get Cordelia out of there, man.
So what are you gonna do about it?
Yeah, clearly he can see the path Connor's going down, but yeah. What is that? What is that? I don't like the one who just cut to white. Did he kill him? What's going on?
Take in.
Yeah, what is this whole encounter with the panther mean?
You'd know a silver platter when he was handed one? I'm impressed with the lot of you.
I never thought they'd be working for Wolfram and Hart, but I mean, I guess just the name, but still.
You're the boss. There'll be a limo waiting outside. It'll take you to see Connor.
Okay, he didn't kill him, which is good, but also, yeah, that's like it looks like a watch, or like a compass or something on a chain with the Sunnydale folder, so yeah, very curious. And where's Connor now?
Who's Connor?
They don't know who Connor is? What? What happened?
Theirs, isn't it? You just opened up a whole bottle for yourself, didn't you?
He has another family? Oh, I just got goosebumps. Oh, Connor. The pineapple ham situation, too much. And he's going to college now?
We haven't really talked about
No,
it.
I love Tracy. I'm just saying it's a bad way to go.
Tracy's a vegan. So?
At least she doesn't live on Pop-Tarts.
I'm guessing they must have reset his memory or something. Yeah, because nobody else remembers him either. And he obviously doesn't,
Yeah, big surprise.
There he goes.
To the top 10th percentile.
Okay, whoa, enough.
He seems happy, which I'm sure is very sad. Oh.
You didn't get me. I get to make the toast, okay? To family.
I feel like this would be so hard for Angel to watch. Like, I'm sure he's happy that Connor seems happy, but still, like, it seems like they could never be in contact again. They can never talk, because how do you explain that? Like, P.S. I'm your dad and I'm a vampire. Like, oh my gosh. I'm glad he didn't kill him, because that would have been very grim, but so tough for Connor, and so tough for Angel to see that. Oh, bittersweet for sure. So that was my first time watching Angel Season 4, Episode 22, the Season 4 finale. To me, this definitely felt like it was a Season 5, Episode 1 episode with this Wolfram and Hart setup. Definitely felt like they're getting things set up for the next season, which I don't mind. I feel like that's pretty common in, season finales. They sprinkle in that little, breadcrumb of like, oh, this is what's going to happen in the next season. I totally expect that. I feel like that's normal, but to have, a majority of the episode at this Wolfram and Hart tour and everybody being in their different departments, and to have Connor and Cordelia only in like a handful of scenes, obviously at that sporting goods store, that was a big scene for Connor, and to find out that he basically has this new life, which was interesting. But again, I wasn't sensing the urgency to find Cordelia, and I feel like Angel's hate for Wolfram and Hart got in the way, because they're like, here's a phone, we'll tell you where Connor and Cordelia are, and instead of him being like, yes, like, let's use this, even, he can still hate them, that's fine. And the fact that he's taken this deal, obviously, I feel like that will strongly be, part of the next season, but the fact that he just, rejected it, and then he sees Connor on the news, holding hostages it's gonna get very scary very quickly, and it didn't seem like he was going to slow down and stop. He beats the crap out of that police officer on the building because, he's like, how could you leave this family behind? Connor seemed very angry and needed somewhere to put it. And I don't know what to do with that. And I don't think Angel knew what to do with that. And I feel like he was just going to get angrier and angrier and kept saying, like, he felt nothing. And, Angel's trying to tell him he loves him and that he's sorry. And Connor doesn't want to listen. He doesn't want to talk about it. So having that knife scene come up and then, it cut to white, I was very worried, because I was like, is he dead? I don't think Angel could actually kill him like that. That would be very graphic, but I was like, what are we going to do? How are we going to fix this? And then to hear Fred say, who's Connor? I thought, okay, Wolfram and Hart has messed with their memories. Like now, we're starting to see the strings attached, that they're slowly starting to like change who they are as people. That's what I thought we were going to do. But then to have that, it was bittersweet for sure. And I can't imagine how Angel would have been feeling at that time, happy, sad, all of the things, because he does want Connor to be happy. I fully believe that, and I don't think Angel ever thought he would be a dad, because obviously he's a vampire, and to see Connor sitting around a, quote-unquote normal family, having dinner, talking about college, doing this toast to family, and, he has siblings, he has parents, like, it seems like a normal, happy home, like, all of these things that I think Angel wanted to give Connor, but I couldn't, obviously, with killing, supernatural creatures all the time. Connor's mental state was getting very scary, and I don't blame him. Like, he had dealt with so much with his mom, and he had so many lies in his head, and he didn't know how to untangle that, and Cordelia and Jasmine, and just a lot. It'd been a lot for this guy, and, just giving him this new life, basically, resetting his brain, and it sounds like part of this deal is that Angel can't have contact with Connor, which seems very harsh, but also understandable. I imagine it would just be more confusing for Connor if this guy randomly shows up, and can Angel be in his life and not say he's his dad? Is Connor gonna, is there some kind of like flicker of memory in there that'll come back and be like, oh, I recognize this person? So I don't know if we'll ever see Connor's character again. He's been around for a few seasons, obviously. This would be a nice ending for him. I think if he never comes back, I'm okay with that as an audience member, as a viewer. I think this is a nice way to leave his character, assuming he goes off to college, has a nice life, and it's just, that's, the end of it, and we could kind of close that chapter. Because again, we need conflict in the show. I totally get that, but to have his character go through more and more and more is just going to add more fuel to this, and he's not doing better. And there's not going to be a period of like 6 years we can process everything that's happened and not have any more things happen to him. So yeah, I think this was the best solution for him, as hard as I'm sure it is for Angel as his parent to see his kid be happy and with another family. And yeah, that bittersweet of you want him to be happy, but also he's not coming home. And yeah, so again, I feel like that's the last we will see of Connor. Please no spoilers, but especially with it being the season finale, I can't see him coming back for season 5. Again, we will see, but I imagine that's the end of it. And then Cordelia, what are we doing with freaking Cordelia? Again, yeah, the urgency of trying to find her has been like on the back burner. Like Connor seemed like the first priority, and they're like, oh well, good, Cordelia's already here. Like Angel didn't know that. He went to go get Connor and then was going to track down Cordelia, and like I don't know what happened, but I feel like her character just got pushed to the bottom as soon as she had Jasmine, basically. And we knew from previous episodes that Jasmine's birth was going to be very detrimental to her health. She's been in this coma. Like, is this a literal soap opera? Like, she's been in a coma for months, weeks, what has it been now? And I haven't seen her eat once. Nobody has given her any kind of medical attention. And I do understand this is a TV show and we don't need to show those things, but like, I'm sure there's been massive periods of time where she's been completely on her own. Like, that's just like, the logistics of it aren't adding up, And again, I'm aware it's television, but still, it's like nobody has checked on her. She was in that church for how long? She was in the bed for how long? And now she's just lying. Last time we saw her, she was lying in the floor of a sporting goods store about to be blown up. Like, is that really what we were going to do? And, Angel does mention her to Lila in this episode. Sounds like she's getting the best care, she's somewhere safe, she's still in this coma. Like, is she going to be in the coma for the entire next season? Like, she's got to talk at some point. Like, I don't even remember the last thing she said, and the last thing she did was give birth to Jasmine and Connor, and she kills this, person to bring Jasmine to life. And I know that's not the real Cordelia, so now I'm like, was the real Cordelia season 3? Like, has it been that long since we've actually had that character? And to meet all these new characters at Wolfram and Hart, again, felt like, we could have waited to episode 1 of season 5 to do this. I wish they would have spent a little bit more time figuring out the Cordelia situation, Connor situation, have this Wolfram and Hart introduction. You could still have Lila, hey, we have this offer, and then maybe cut there, and then the tour and all that stuff happens in the next season, because, yeah, I definitely feel like that's where they're going, and I'm very curious to see, now they've got these resources, and, all these, things at their disposal, and then it was just, the small group of them before, and now they're going to have this huge force behind them. Very little mention of Jasmine. It's like they've obviously already moved on, and Connor seems like the only one who's still being affected by this. And again, that was their big bad for so long. Now they're like, oh, right, okay, on to the next thing. And yeah, not a lot of time to process that, which again, I wish they would have taken a little bit longer with this in this episode. To see Wesley try and burn Lila's contract so that she would go back, and I think that was the last gesture he could do to show that he did care about her, and it didn't work. So I like Lila's character. I don't know if she'll be back in the next season. Like I said, it definitely sounds like Wolfram and Hart isn't going anywhere. They've accepted that offer, so she's usually pretty strongly related to that, obviously, but she's also dead. So, I mean, even if it was just for these past few episodes, it was nice to see her back again. I don't know if we'll see her in the next season. Only time will tell. But yeah, it was nice to have her back at least for a little bit, if that's all we get. And I imagine it was very hard for Wesley to see her because, and she's wearing the scarf because Wesley chopped her head off. I love that we had a Sunnydale Buffy reference in this as well with the first, and Lila handing Angel this folder and him, not really wanting to be involved. But we haven't had a crossover episode in a long time, and I was like, are we finally going to get another one? And yeah, he hasn't even mentioned Buffy in a while. We did have Willow come back, obviously, to bring back Angel's soul. But yeah, it's nice that they still mention it, at least for the fans. I appreciate that. I'm very curious to see where this Wolfram and Hart situation is going to go, especially with everybody kind of giving their own departments that they're head of, and that they actually get to specialize in their own skills, which isn't really something that we've seen. Obviously, each character has their own strengths, but to have their own, like, the science department for Fred, and, Wesley with his books, and, bringing up the Watchers Council, which again, we know from Buffy is no longer a thing, but to see them really get to thrive in the areas that they're great in, as opposed to being like, oh, this, week's monster, requires more of Wesley, or this week's monster requires more of Fred. And, they don't always get to shine in those areas because it's a group. And, sometimes you're just there to be the brute strength. And to see Gunn in the White Room with the Panther was very interesting. And it definitely looked like a real panther, not a CGI panther. So yeah, I'm curious how they did that. But to see everybody's strengths come into play, I think is going to be a big part. And like I said, they've been just a group, and to have that individual time, I think is going to be interesting. I still don't trust Wolfram and Hart. I still think there's going to be strings attached. And, to see Angel walk in, everybody call him Mr. Angel, and the corporate world has never really been one I imagine Angel in, but even the windows, to have that sunlight come in for him, and like all the details that they've gone to, he's got a fleet of cars now that he can have as a disposal, and his own elevator, and like, I'm assuming the hotel, they're done now. Maybe we'll have a scene where they pack up and stuff like that. And, we've seen previous headquarters in previous seasons as well. They used Cordelia's apartment for a while, but to now see, them move on to Wolfram and Hart, which obviously played such a big part in the first 2 seasons as this big bad, and now to kind of have this like full circle moment where they're back there and running it. Again, never would have expected that. And to just have free reign of this also seems like, again, I'm just kind of waiting for the shoe to drop or something to happen, because it seems too good to be true. And again, last time we saw Wolfram and Hart, the Beast had destroyed it. There were zombies everywhere. And again, it's reminding me a little bit of Sunnydale with the library, and they even make a mention to Watchers and libraries in this episode as well. So I liked those pieces. Again, it still just felt like it should have been episode 1 of season 5. It didn't really feel like a season finale episode. Overall, I enjoyed it. I'm very curious to see where we're going to go in the next season. Everything that happened with Connor, is he going to come back? Everything that's going on with Cordelia, I feel like that's a big piece that no one has answered, and there doesn't seem to be any concern to answer. They're just like, oh, right, she's in a coma. Like, nobody's going to check up on her. And, Angel goes to see Connor, but doesn't go to see Cordelia. Maybe he will, in the next episode. And obviously now that they're running Wolfram and Hart, they're going to have a lot more resources, so they'll be able to do a lot more good. And to hear Lila spin it like, oh yeah, you ended world peace, and that's obviously not how they see it, but to hear, Lila's perspective of it. And yeah, very curious to see if Lila will be back, to have this father and son showdown between Angel and Connor in this, sporting goods store. Connor was obviously on a very, very destructive path. So yeah, interesting to have him start this new life. And yeah, very curious to see where we're going to go in the next season. So thank you so much for sharing in this first time watching with me. If you have any other suggestions for TV shows you think I should watch, please comment below. And as always, please like, comment, and subscribe to this channel, and check back often for more awesome content. Yeah, like he chopped her head off. Like, come on. There's gotta be strings. There's no way he's just handing this over. She's thought of everything, yeah, the perfect host. Oh, a laser. That's fun. A panther? Attached to the batteries. Oh, this is gonna be so grim. What is that? I don't like the one who just cut to white. P.S. I'm your dad and I'm a vampire. Like,